Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Players Zone YouTube channel. Welcome to what is our final Premier League predictions of 2024. We've reached the midway point. It's match day 19 predictions live from another hotel room, this time in Manchester. A few days out from me going to see United play Newcastle, which is a different story altogether. But those were our predictions from last week. Another very, very bad weekend of predictions for me. Added only 4 of our prediction points, which takes our total now to 115 prediction points on the year. We have slowed up big time. I think we've had 8 points across the last 3 weekends. And if you're wondering how the prediction points work in the channel, it's 3 points correct scoreline, 1 point for the correct result predicted, and obviously 0 points for neither. So really, really struggling across the last few weeks. So looking to bounce back here as we hit the midway point. With that being said, guys, if you're new to the channel, please make sure to subscribe, press that post notification bell, like the video, and join in in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on my predictions, what your predictions are, and the interaction is absolutely fantastic. With that being said, guys, let's get straight now into our Premier League predictions. Our first game from the weekend is a big one. It's Leicester City versus Manchester City, and who would have thought I'd be saying that this game would be a big game 5 or 6 weeks ago, but it's become that sort of game. Looking at Leicester City, comes back to that 3-1 hard-fought, tough loss to Liverpool. They were super competitive in the first half, and all props to Leicester. I've been saying this under Ruud van Nistelrooy. They're going to be a tougher team to play against, but the results just haven't come, and it's one reason and one reason only. They're more compact, they're more solid defensively, but going forward, there's not the same firepower, not the same threat up top. Jamie Vardy doesn't play the last game. They look very lackluster, lacking sharpness in that final third. And that's been the problem. It's 3 losses in a row for Leicester, but in the last 4 games, only 3 goals scored. That is clearly the problem. Can they solve that is the question. And, against a vulnerable Man City side, we've seen how vulnerable they are to the break. You're looking for those pacey players that get in behind Mavidide, Buonanotte, the creators. Jordan Ayew, can he be his best on the break? One-touch football. Everton did it. Many teams have done it so far in City's bad run. Can Leicester do it? Can they get at Man City on the break? Because City will have a lot of the ball, but once they turn the ball over, that's when they're most vulnerable. So can Leicester pounce on that and score goals on the break? That is their easy avenue to goal because they don't have many other ways when they're in possession of the football. Looking at Man City, another disappointing result, another 1-1 draw coming against Everton last time out. Again, a really lackluster performance where defensively they're actually okay, but going forward, there was a lot of half chances, but not many clear-cut opportunities. And watching that game, I was finding myself getting bored and frustrated because they just couldn't find a way in behind the back line. That's the key thing for them this game here. Penetration, that final third, creativity, sharpness. It comes from Savinho, it comes from Foden, who were 2 great players last time out. Can they be even better in this game here? That's the question we have to ask about this Manchester City side. There's only 4 goals in the side's last 5 games, so both teams struggling in front of goal. Whoever is more clinical, whoever's on the front foot, and keeping the side penned in for more often than not will likely win this game of football. We're looking at 2 teams that are struggling going forward, 2 teams that are solid enough defensively, but who will crack first? In this one here, I'm going to keep saying it, I have to back City in. I know it's 1 win in 12 games, but it's Manchester City. I'm going to go with a 2-1 hard-fought City win. They get over the line for me in this one here. Phil Foden, the key player for me. Our next game takes us to London as Crystal Palace takes on Southampton. In many regards, a relegation 6-pointer in this one here. Looking at Crystal Palace, they'll be up and about. They come off the back of a 0-0 draw to Bournemouth at the Vitality. A very tough place to go play football. But once again, it was foundationally built upon defensive solidity and defensive structure. And with the suspension in there, you can look at Lacroix, Gehi, and probably Richards as the back 3, that 3 at the back, to be compact and solid again. That is their building block for the side. That's what makes them look at their best. And then you get to counter-attack and looking at against a side like Southampton, who like the ball and can turn the ball over. And their final third, the Sarr and Eberechi as a 1-2s, high speed of ball movement, getting at Southampton on the break. That is the clear philosophy here for Crystal Palace in this game here. Sit in deep, sit in compact, allow Southampton to come onto you, and then beat them on the counter-attack with one-touch, direct football. That is easily the key to the game here for Crystal Palace, especially at home. You look at Southampton, they'll be disappointed a 1-0 loss to West Ham, a much improved performance under the new manager Juric, but can they continue into this game here? That's the question you have to ask. It's going to be a real tough game. There is sort of struggle in the final third, not much action there, not much creativity there. We want more from Adam Armstrong on an actual as well up top. Can these guys be more involved, be more present, show for the ball, spin in behind, be physical in the air? That's what we're going to ask for these two strikers, because all over the other areas of the park, they have improved. But up top, there's a lack of clinical edge. There's a lack of real talent at the final third. These guys have to work super, super hard to try and make an impact in this game here and change the game in Southampton's favour. Another big matchup, Sugawara and Walker-Peters at the wing-back positions. They want to get the better of the Crystal Palace wing-backs if they want to have a chance to win this game. For me, though, I back Palace in. They're built so solid defensively. There's improvements all over the park, and I think they get the result here at home. Going with a tough 1-0 win for me. Southampton will make it difficult, but Palace gets the win. Move to Merseyside for our next game as Everton take on Nottingham Forest. Everton obviously coming off the back of that fantastic 1-1 draw at the Etihad last time out, and in many regards deserved all 3 points for some of the football they were playing. It's another fantastic result picked up. It's Sean Dyche football, 6 points from the last 4 games. They are unbeaten at that time as well. Built on that defensive structure, it's all positive for Everton right now. It's about though going forward. They can absorb pressure, they can sit in deep, and they want to do that versus Nottingham Forest. Take away their greatest asset, which is their pace and speed in behind, the direct running of the likes of Anthony Elanga, Callum Hudson-Odoi, Tayo Awoniyi when he comes off the bench. So, this structure they like to play with, this more defensive, pragmatic structure under Sean Dyche, is going to be beneficial in this game here versus Nottingham Forest, as we have cars flying outside. Once again, Pickford, Tarkowski, Branthwaite, they were fantastic versus Manchester City. They're going to be fantastic yet again in this game here to shut down the Nottingham Forest dangerous forwards. You're looking at Forest, come on the back of that 1-0 win versus Spurs, boost himself up into the top 5 and a real top 4 threat now. They're showing it, they're consistent enough, and they're beating teams in different avenues. In recent weeks, there hasn't been a plethora of goal scoring, but chances created at will. And it's been a positive in many regards, getting the results without scoring a lot of goals. But in this game here, we want to see the side put Everton to the sword, because you saw Man City struggle. We've seen other teams struggle to put multiple goals past this Everton side at this current stage. You're going to have to be incisive. You're going to have to be creative. You can't just use pace and counter-attacks in behind. So I'm looking to those different types of plays. The likes of Wood to be clinical in front of goal. Ryan Yates to maybe break the game up and get Nottingham Forest on the front foot on a counter press. And the likes of Anderson, he's smart on the football to play through the lines. And most importantly, Morgan Gibbs-White. He can break a game apart with his dribbling ability and his vision in the final third as well. They're the third ranked team away from home. It's 4 wins in a row for Nottingham Forest. You'd think they'd get the result, but I'm backing another stalemate. I'm going with an Everton 0, Nottingham Forest 0 draw. I think Everton have got what it takes. They've come in with the confidence, and they have a system that just takes away from what Nottingham Forest wants and plays at best. We go back to London for our next game as Fulham take on Bournemouth. Fulham obviously coming off the back of the heroic 2-1 late comeback over Chelsea, the first win they've had there in the Premier League era at Stamford Bridge. And they want to continue this great run of form. It's once again built on the counter-attack, built on the break, and ability to play in possession. But their best football comes when they can win the ball back and play quick and play direct. And it's going to happen versus Bournemouth in many regards. Bournemouth like possession. They also like the counter-press as well. It's two teams that can look at their best on the counter-attack and the counter-press, but also both really safe in possession as well. So it'll be interesting to see who actually takes the hold of the football, who takes command of possession this game here, or is going to be a ping ball battle back and forth in this one here. That's going to be the key to understanding this one here. Both sides are unbeaten in their last 6 games. For Fulham, it's 8 goals scored in the last 5 games, being built on defensive acumen, built on defensive structure, the recent run. And I feel like in this game here, to break the game apart, you're looking to difference makers, and I look to Pereira and Anthony Robertson for Fulham, the creators, the smart footballers, the footballers that when the ball at their feet, they make things happen, and they could be really, really important to breaking down a strong Bournemouth backline, who are being fantastic under Hoyston and Ilya Zarbani, 2 of the youngest centre-backs in world football, probably the best young centre-back combination in world football, and I'll stand by that. Watching a lot of Bournemouth, they play fantastically well at the back, but a yin and yang, both comfortable in possession, but both very, very solid in the air, and they have a goal threat going forward as well. Those 2 have been fantastic. It is obviously 7 goals in the last 5 games for Bournemouth. Again, they're not quite free-flowing the final third as well. So if they want to win this game, improvements have to come from Antoine Semenyo. Justin Klopp has to be a little bit better as well in the final third. And you've got to get more supply to Enesu now, or Van Alison, whoever plays up top, because the supply to the striker this season has not quite been the same as what we saw from Bournemouth last season. So just small tinkers for that side there. Looking at the result, for me, it's going to be a game of whoever can take their chances. Both sides are very, very good in the ball, very, very good in transition, very good at counter-pressing. They're almost identicals of each other. Who do I see winning? I see Fulham winning. At home, They play some better football. Yes, Bournemouth are okay, but they don't travel too well on the road. I think Fulham get on top here. They get on top early. They get the crowd on their side, and they get a tough, hard-fought 2-1 win for me. Our next game is at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. It's Tottenham Hotspur taking on Wolves. Spurs once again disappointing, a 1-0 loss last time out to Nottingham Forest on the road. But yet again, I am impressed watching them play. Throughout the 90 minutes, there was key passes. They were decent in possession. They just get exposed so easy at the back. Anthony Udogie called out. Anthony Lunga scores a goal out of nothing. Yes, Forest were good in that game, but they were far from amazing. Tottenham Hotspur had the better moments on the ball, had a lot of possession in the Nottingham Forest half, but couldn't make much of it. There's a real problem here at Tottenham. They're not good enough defensively, and in the final third, it's a little bit of a mess at this current point in time. They just need to find some consistency and need to find some balance. They haven't won a game without scoring 3 or more goals, I feel like, in the last 8 or 9 games. So there's a real problem there. If they don't score a bulk of goals, they're not going to win games of football. So important they take their chances in the final third. It's 13 goals scored in the last 5 games for Spurs, but it's 2 losses on the bounce. So you're going to have to fix up, and it's going to be built on leaders. Heung-min Son, clinical, a leader, more involved. He was so poor versus Nottingham Forest last time out. He has to be much better. He's your captain of your football club. Basuma, big money signing in the middle of the park, was super average versus Nottingham Forest. Has to be much better. Benton Kerr coming back into the side. He can add that experience, that control midfield, and potentially protect that very young back four. So look to those leaders, the older players, to be more involved and play much better for Spurs. They want to get the result in this game here. You're looking at Wolves, fantastic, dominant 2-0 win versus Man United last time out. New manager Pereira's put in a different level of belief in this side. Great attacking football. And obviously, all the emphasis revolves around Matheus Cunha at this moment. The ball seems to magnetise to his foot. He's scoring goals from corners. He's super creative. He can't be touched at this current point in time. Goals, assists, making things happen. It's just fantastic this current point in time. So obviously, he is the key player for Wolves. Everything goes through him. Big shout out to Gonzalo Guedes as well. He's been fantastic in the final third, supporting Strand Larsen and Matheus Cunha as well. So he's gone under the radar as a very important player for this side. But for me, the difference maker and the difference makers, comes in midfield. Andre alongside João Gomes. They're real energizer bunnies. They're strong to the tackle. They're aggressive. They're in your face. And they could just dominate this Spurs midfield, which is so average at this current point in time. That midfield battle is massive. If Wolves can win that area of the park, they run rampant because they're so good in the final third. There's so much talent in the final third there. But for Spurs, you should have half that midfield battle. You stay solid enough. You protect your back four. You can score goals. You know you can score goals. You've got more talented players. So the midfield is where this game's going to be won and lost for me. It's going to be high scoring. We know both teams score goals. They both ship goals. So I'm going with a 2-2 draw on this one here. Can't see either side getting truly on top. But if Spurs do this one, watch Ange Postecoglou. The pressure will build on the Australian manager. We keep ourselves in London as West Ham take on Liverpool in the next game. West Ham, another impressive result, a 1-0 win away at St Mary's against the new manager, bounce Southampton. It wasn't textbook type result. It wasn't a dominating performance, but it was a Lopetegui performance. And I keep saying this is what West Ham fans are going to have to get used to with him. Another well-grounded out 1-0 result built on fullbacks being fantastic, especially Aaron Wan-Bissaka, and pieces of individual brilliance going forward. It is 2 wins and 2 draws across the last 4 games where they've been unbeaten, but only 5 goals scored. So it's been built on that back four being solid, and they're going to have to be really rock solid to prevent the likes of Mohamed Salah, Jota, Luis Diaz, Cody Gakpo, Darwin Núñez once more. They're going to be really good in this game here, similar to how they've shown across the last 4 to 5 games as well. I feel like the individual brilliance will have to be there yet again if they want to get a result. Looking at Bowen, looking at Nicholas Füllkrug up top. The experienced German can make things happen. He's a great hold-up striker, but when the ball's at his feet, he can strike a football as well. Maybe a long-range shot might be an early chance to get in front in this game here. And look to West Ham to start strong. If you get in the front foot early, you catch Liverpool off guard, that could go a long way to winning this game of football, or potentially at least getting a point in this one here. You're looking at Liverpool, clinically defeated Leicester 3-1 last time out. A dominating performance in many regards, but started very slowly, and yet to keep a clean sheet in a long period of time. But going forward, the goals are there. 14 goals in the last 5 games. They've won 3 Premier League games on the bounce after a mini slide there where they had 2 draws in a row. They're conceding less goals. It's all built, though, on Mohamed Salah. 16 goals, 11 assists, dominating performances, dominating the Premier League, dominating games of football. He is so pivotal to this side here. He is central to all things that happen for the side. But also look at other areas as well. Jones, Gakpo, Trent Alexander-Arnold, they've all been fantastic in recent weeks and were pivotal to getting that result versus Leicester City. So look to the accompanying party to help set up Salah, to help take the load off Salah, because right now Liverpool's whole squad is contributing, and that's why they're top of the league. I think they'll continue their great form here. I don't think the Hammers can shut down what Liverpool do. They might have a chance early on to spark a bit of a energy in the crowd if they score early, but I can't see Liverpool backing down or falling short in this game here. I've got Liverpool 3, West Ham 1 in this game here. Liverpool keeping up their great run away from home. We move to the Midlands for our next game as Brighton go up and face Aston Villa at Villa Park in this one here. Both teams not very convincing across the last few weeks. Aston Villa absolutely dominated by Newcastle, losing that game 3-0 last time out, going down to 10 men, and just not looking themselves in many regards. They've been poor in recent weeks. They've missed chances. They haven't looked their sharpest in the final third, and I thought they were coming back in the recent weeks, but they've gone back to that really poor, stagnant movement in the final third. And I looked at this side, just looked at Morgan Rogers a lot of the periods of time. If he's not at his best, if he's not firing, Villa aren't firing. So I'm looking to other players around to try and support him. I'm looking at the striker being more involved, looking at John McGinn, Yuri Tielemans being more involved in the build-up play and the precision and the ball movement in the final third, because Morgan Rogers is making everything happen right now for Aston Villa. If he doesn't go, Villa don't go. So I'm looking at other players around to support him, take a bit of the load off him, because right now without him, Aston Villa look really blunt in the final third. And you're going up against a Brighton side that aren't that great, but they don't concede a lot of goals. So you have to be really sharp in the final third. They're really on it and get a good start here at Villa Park. I think it's really important. They get a flying start. They get on top. They get the Villa Park crowd in behind them, and it'll be a long day for Brighton to come. Looking at Brighton, they dominated a lot of moments versus Brentford, but were unable to get the result. And similar for them, it's 5 goals in the last 5 games. They've struggled in front of goal. Chance creation hasn't been that great. Again, you look to the wide players and see, so Matoma Minte, other players like Jorginho Ruter, it just hasn't been good enough in the final third. Chance creation and goal scoring hasn't been there for Brighton in recent weeks. And this fall off that they've had, but they haven't won in 6 games. They've only got those 5 goals in the last 5 games, have come because I feel like they're just not being aggressive in the final third. They're not taking the game on. They're not risking things as much as I thought they would. The Hertzler system I thought was risk-taking, really aggressive, progressive football that you might get called out defensively, but you're going to score goals going the other way. It hasn't quite been that way. It's been very pragmatic, very slow, very boring, losing games 1-0, 2-0, 2-1, but not many goals being scored. And I think this is what we were promised in many regards under Fabian Hertzler, to look to those more attacking players to take the game on. Mitoma, Enciso, Jorginho Ruter, João Pedro dropping in a little bit deeper, get more support from the wide areas, and get more involved, push numbers forward, commit numbers. They're still playing Lamptey. Wide areas have to be where you dominate this game of football. That can be the difference maker. Brighton dominate the wide areas, they win this game of football. Aston Villa have more creators alongside Morgan Rogers, they win this game of football. So it's going to be a very entertaining one. Who do I see winning? I've got Aston Villa winning at home for me. They're the side with a greater talent, all in all probably in the better form. So I see them getting this game 3-0 over Brighton, who are just not at the best at this current point in time. Our next game is Ipswich, who host Chelsea. And I wish I could say this would be a competitive game, but I just can't see Ipswich doing much. They come off the back of a 1-0 loss to Arsenal. They were competitive, but they just didn't fire a shot in the final third. They have no goals in their game at this current point in time. It's 3 goals in the last 5 games. Haven't kept a clean sheet in a long time. And yes, they're competitive, but they just don't have any spark, any ball movement, any chance creation this side. So Sammy Smodics and Mari Hutchinson, you've got to be tired. You've got to make things happen in the final third. You've got to be succinct, fast at it from the start of the game. And you can't be lax in possession. When you have the ball, make the most of it, because there's not many chances that come for Ipswich, and when they do come, you have to take them, because we know how clinical Chelsea are going forward. You got another solid backfire performance yet again, similar to what they did versus Arsenal. But all in all, I just can't see Ipswich laying a glove on Chelsea. Yes, they lost 2-1 last time at the Fulham, where they just fell away second half, but they've got players all over the park. Enzo, you've got the leader in Cole Palmer, 14 big chances created so far in the Premier League. That's second in the league this season. They do remain the best team away from home. They've got players all over the park that contribute. And I think the last game Where they went wrong is the contribution of the wide areas. Neto and Sancho, where Paul Felix might come into the side. These guys need to be better. They need to support Enzo Fernandez, Cole Palmer, and Nicholas Jackson, because if you've got players in wide areas that contribute, you're an unstoppable force. Chelsea are too good all over the park. So in this game, I think the talent's going to be too much. The quality's going to be too much. I just can't see Ipswich laying a glove on Chelsea. I've got a Chelsea 5-0 win happening here. They've got the goals in their game. I just can't see Ipswich really stopping this current point in time. Our penultimate game takes us to Old Trafford. It's Manchester United and Newcastle United. Two teams with contrasting form. United obviously coming off the back of an awful run of form. 4 losses in a row. An awful 2-0 loss last time out away at Wolves. You've got no Manuel Ugarte. You've got no Bruno Fernandes. You might have no Manchester United in many regards. This side looks so devoid of confidence, so devoid of care factor. They just don't look like they're running hard enough. They're not working hard enough. Chance creation in there. Defensively, all over the place. So sloppy this side at the current point in time. 2 goals conceded directly from corners across the last week. That shows where the club is at the current point in time. It shows where the players are. Goalkeeper errors, defenders errors, midfielders errors. There's errors in this side. It is contagious at the current point in time. And with key players missing, I look to the experienced heads. Casemiro, De Ligt, Mazraoui, even Diogo Dalot. The experienced heads have to stand up in this game here, have to make a stand and keep United afloat. This is getting very dangerous to slipping into a bottom half challenge, a bottom half battle. It is so far off what United need to be. Not even a mid-table side at the current point in time. The quality and the performances are just not good enough. For United, important to start halves much better. Again, so poor starting halves. Bruno Fernandes gets sent off within 10 minutes of the second half. Started the first half of that game quite poor. Matheus Cunha got very, very free in the first half. So start halves much better. It's been so weak for United the way they start both halves. They need to improve there. And contributions from others outside of Amad Diallo. Rasmus Højlund, Kobbie Mainoo in the midfield area. Even out in the other flank, whether it be Alejandro Garnacho now, even Mazraoui pushing on, Dalot pushing on. You need to be much better. You need to have more contributions outside of Amad Diallo, because he can't do it all on his own. So look to others to lift that weight as well. Looking alternatively at Newcastle, fantastic performance, 3-0 last time out versus Aston Villa. They have won their last 4 games, 16 goals scored. They are firing. Where United are weak, Newcastle strong. It is just the polar opposites at the current point in time. They're a dangerous front three in Isaac Gordon and Murphy that are working for each other. They're connected. They're telepathic. They've got things clicking at this current point in time. And boy, oh boy, is that midfield going to run rings about Manchester United. Bruno Guimaraes, Sandro Tonali, and Joe Linton are in imperious form at this current point in time. And that area of the park there is the reason why Newcastle win this game. I've got them winning this game 3-0. They'll cruise a midfield battle. United don't have any way to stop this Newcastle side. And with one of the most clinical strikers in the league, and in form Anthony Gordon, and boy oh boy, one of the best midfield trios in world football, United don't go near them. Newcastle 3, Manchester United 0. That brings us to our final game, an all-London affair at the Entertainment Centre of the Premier League, the G-Tech, as Brentford take on Arsenal. Brentford coming off a away point, a 0-0 draw away at Brighton. A weak performance, but one of the more defensively solid performances we've seen from Brentford. We know them for their attacking football this season. We know them for being on the front foot. We know them for dominating home games and scoring goals for fun. Will they do this versus Arsenal? I doubt it. I think we can see a very similar performance to what we saw versus Brighton, where they defend, they sit in deep, they make save after save. Obviously, Flecken will not be available in this one here, but look to that back line to be nice and compact. Collins and me are part of a back 4 or back 5, have to be at their best. They're the leaders of the back line. They're the experienced heads. Look to them to be the key figures at the back for me. And also massive efforts required from those front 3. Kevin Schade, Johan Visser alongside Brian Mbeumo up top. They have to stretch the back line. They have to put pressure on the Arsenal back 4 when they're in possession, and also when they can run in behind and spread this Arsenal back 4, make the back 4 work. I think the worst thing you can do as a side taking on Arsenal is just allow them that clean up. They can clean up out balls. You got to be direct with your out balls. Make smart runs. The back 4 can't just clean up too easily. Make Saliba and Gabriel work. That's when Arsenal look a little bit more vulnerable and there's a chance to beat that side there. Looking at Arsenal, far from their best performance, but another important result. A 1-0 win versus Ipswich the last time out. It's been promising since Martin Odegaard's come back. 12 games, 12 goals in the last 5 games, 11 games unbeaten since he's come back. It's been fantastic. Yet again, though, without Bukayo Saka, Leandro Trossard, Lewis Skelly, Timber all have to continue their contributions like they did last time out. You need players outside of just Martin Odegaard performing, Gabriel Jesus as well leading the line, Kai Havertz. These type of players have to lift their weight with Bukayo Saka not being there. And I back this side in. They're in imperious form at this current point in time. They just have to continue that at this current point. I think for me, just more progressive play, more attacking football, more committed in the final third. They continue this run of form. They get into a bit of a groove over this festive period into the new year. They've got a real title chance on the horizon, because we know Liverpool will have to go and deal with some setbacks. Arsenal have dealt with them. Can they continue this great run of form? I think they get a good result here. Brentford are good defensively. They're not at their best defensively, though. I think Arsenal run right a little bit. Going with a 3-1 Arsenal win here at the G-Tech. We expect goals at the stadium. We're going to get goals in this game here, but it's going to come from the Gunners. That being said, ladies and gents, that brings this prediction video to an end. Match week 19, who would have thought, halfway through the season already, the last predictions for the Premier League for 2024. Thank you for joining me this year through our predictions through last season and this season. With that being said, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. What's your favourite game from the weekend's action? What's been your favourite moment from the Premier League this year in 2024? Let me know that in the comment section down below. That'd be much appreciated. If you enjoyed the video, guys, smash a like on it. Subscribe to the Players and channel for more videos like these. Press that post notification bell so you know we upload podcast videos, reaction videos here on the channel. And also leave a comment. As I said, let me know all your thoughts. Let me know your thoughts on the weekend's action, the key players, the key matchups. I'd love to see that and love the interaction in the comment section down below. With that being said, guys, I hope you have a great day. Enjoy the upcoming football action, and I wish you a happy new year. With that being said, guys, see you later.